who've received tens of billions of U.S. tax dollars don't have enough tanks. Right. I think it's a fair question to ask, like, where's the concern for the United States in that?
Well, it's not my concern. Tucker, I've heard that routine from you before, but that's not my concern.
Your political career in the Republican Party has absolutely been nuked by Tucker Carlson, and in reality, man, by yourself. Tucker Carlson was the star of the show at the Blaze event, where he got to interview each of the Republican presidential candidates, Mike Pence included, and he knew exactly which questions to ask each candidate. But for Mike Pence, he really knew how to nail him down. He really knew which questions he really wanted to go hard on, which questions he wanted to force Mike Pence to answer, and he tried his very best, Mike Pence did, to dodge around Tucker's, questions, but he couldn't get away from these questions. Tucker did a great job. Let's watch Tucker Carlson absolutely nuke Mike Pence's career from orbit. In this video, Mike Pence is going to absolutely ruin his entire political career, at least as a Republican, because he's going to straight up go against everything that Republican voters are looking for right now. Let's check out this clip.
We're saying maybe January we'll let somebody transfer some jets.
I'm sorry, Mr. Vice President, have you, I know you're running for president. You are distressed that the...
By the way, this clip, real quick, I'm not going to cut in too often, but this clip was not the first part of the interview. There was also some other parts that I'll show you right after. This is just the best part. And you can see that Mike Pence is already pissed off because Tucker has been grilling him during this whole interview. You can see how he just reacted to Tucker saying, I know that you're running for president. And he was like, thank you for noticing. Like, you could tell he is pissed going into this.
Ukrainians don't have enough American tanks. Every city in the United States has become much worse over the past 3 years. Yeah. Drive around. There's not one city that's gotten better in the United States. Right. And it's visible. Our economy has degraded. The suicide rate has jumped. Public filth and disorder and crime have exponentially increased. Right. And yet, your concern is that the Ukrainians, a country most people can't find on a map, who've received tens of billions of U.S. tax dollars, don't have enough tanks. Right. I think it's a fair question to ask, like, where's the concern for the United States in that?
Well, it's not my concern. Tucker, I've heard that routine from you before, but that's not my concern. I'm running for president of the United States because I think this country's in a lot of trouble.
You're running for president of the United States because you think this country is in a lot of trouble, and yet it's not your concern that every single city in the United States has gone downhill. You're more concerned with sending tanks and fighter jets and soldiers to Ukraine and sending more of our tax dollars to Ukraine than you are with actually building up the cities back, building up the economy again. He's going to go over all of that right here, but it's all BS. It's all him trying to cover up for what he just said. He just said that America is not his concern. Ukraine is. The foreign wars are. That's what these people care about. That's what these establishment people care about, like Mike Pence. And that's why he just absolutely nuked his entire political career as long as he's a Republican. He could go over to the Democrat side and probably get a lot of votes because that's what those people like. They like those foreign wars. They want to continue the Ukrainian support. The Republican voters don't. They're tired of this. It's America first over here.
I think Joe Biden has weakened America at home and abroad. And as President of the United States, we're going to restore law and order in our cities. We're going to secure our border. We're going to get this economy moving again. And we're going to make sure that we have men and women on our courts at every level that will stand for the right to life and defend all the God-given liberties enshrined in our Constitution. Anybody that says that we can't be the leader of the free world and solve our problems at home has a pretty small view of the greatest nation on earth. We can do both. And as President of the United States, we will secure our border, we will support our military, we will revive our economy and stand by our values, and we will also lead the world for freedom.
I think we can do both. I think it's possible, but I think the number one priority should be to secure the border, to, like he said, restore law and order in our cities, which he just literally 5 seconds before that said wasn't his problem. Now he's talking about how he wants to secure the border, restore law and order, or, get the economy going again. That should be the number one concern. But apparently, to Mike Pence, that's not his concern. What his main concern is giving Ukraine support, giving all of our tax dollars over to Ukraine, having accounting errors send even more billions of dollars to Ukraine. Give them tanks, give them fighter jets, give them air support, whatever. He wants to continue that Ukrainian support rather than focus on America. And like I said, that's going to absolutely nuke your entire Republican political career, because everybody in the audience there, probably most of you watching this video who are Republican voters, you're America first now. Like, at least for right now, we need to 100% be focused on America. Screw Ukraine, man. Who cares? We have some serious problems happening here at home that we need to focus on. Let's check out this other clip where Tucker continues to grill Mike Pence on the Ukraine issue. It's just so embarrassing, his response here. Let's check this out.
You've issued a bunch of public statements about your views on foreign policy, which are definitely within the mainstream of Republican views, as far as I can tell. You recently met with Zelensky, according to news reports. And I'm wondering if during that meeting, as a prominent Christian leader, which you are in addition to your political views, you broached the question of his treatment of Christians within Ukraine. The Zelensky government has raided convents, arrested priests, has effectively banned a denomination, a Christian denomination, the Ukrainian Orthodox Church within Ukraine, has persecuted Christians. And I wonder if you raised that with him.
I did raise the issue when we were there. And I raised it with the leader of the Orthodox Church when I was visiting Kyiv, and asked him about concerns about religious liberty. He assured me that the Zelensky government in Ukraine was respecting religious liberty, even while recognizing that there were very small elements of the Russian Orthodox Church that were being utilized for the purpose of advancing the Russian cause in Ukraine, and that they were taking steps to hold them to account. But the leader of the church at St. Michael's in Kyiv told me personally that he believed that the Zelensky government was respecting religious liberty. And I must tell you, other than the sanctity of life, there's no higher priority in my life than preserving the freedom of religion.
Yeah, except for your support of Ukraine. That's the only thing that trumps that. No pun intended, but this guy really expects everybody to believe, because he talked to Zelensky and one other person in Ukraine, that, you know, Ukraine is not doing the things that Tucker said. They're not arresting Orthodox priests and kicking them out of the country or throwing them in jail. They're not doing those things because Mike Pence talked to Zelensky and he said, no, they're not. Like, are you serious, man? This guy's trying his absolute best to protect Ukraine. And like I said before, it's really just embarrassing, the answers that he's giving. And Tucker pushes back on it here. Let's check it out.
In America, and championing religious liberty around the world.
I'm confused. On this question, it's very clear that the Zelensky government has arrested priests for having views they disagree with. That's not consistent with religious liberty. It's an attack on it, and we're funding it. And I'm just wondering how is it, and I don't mean to be disrespectful at all, but I sincerely wonder how a Christian leader could support the arrest of Christians for having different views.
Well, what I can tell you is I asked the Christian leader in Kiev if that was in fact happening, and he assured me that it was not. People were not being persecuted for their religious beliefs.
So instead of disavowing it and saying that it shouldn't be happening, he says that it's just not happening straight up. Like, these people are 100% bought out by someone who told them that they need to protect Ukraine. And that's why it's great that we do these summits. It's great that Tucker Carlson is the one that's asking these questions, because he's not going to back down. You know, certain people out there would probably give them the questions beforehand and, you know, give them softball questions and just let them speak. You know, that the speeches that they've practiced in the mirror so many times, where Tucker is like, no, you're going to answer my question. I don't care about your mirror practice speeches. You're going to answer my question straight up. And it's great that we have these events and Tucker Carlson running them, or at least, you know, running these interviews, because now we get to see who is part of the establishment and who is an actual genuine person, or at least is not, you know, obviously blatantly part of the establishment and bought out by someone.
Now,
he said
let me take a break here. I know we disagree on this strongly, but I respect your right to your opinion on Ukraine, and I trust you'll respect mine. Look,
we don't respect it, bro.
I've been to Ukraine now twice. My wife and I traveled into Ukraine a month after the initiation of hostilities. We traveled then with a group called Samaritan's Purse, providing Christian relief to the millions of Ukrainians, women and children of every age, that had to flee that country in the face of the unprovoked Russian invasion that began.
And now it's just word salad, talking about Russia evil, Ukraine good, the people of Ukraine are such victims. Now it's just word salad to try to save face, is all he's trying to do here.
And a year and a half ago. I did return, took an 11-hour train ride into Kyiv, also again with Samaritan's Purse. We not only met with government leaders, but we met with Christian relief workers. We're literally rebuilding homes of people in small towns, little hamlets, that a year ago were being shelled by Russian tanks, while the people in that community were just sitting in their homes. I mean, the truth is, what I saw was not just evidence of war, but I saw evil. And I believe that it is in the interest of the United States of America to continue to give the Ukrainian military the resources that they need to repel the Russian invasion and restore their sovereignty.
And once again, your political career in the Republican Party has absolutely been nuked by Tucker Carlson, and in reality, man, by yourself. Like, just that answer, I can't believe that you rehearsed that answer. Like, I can't believe you're actually trying to win the presidency with that answer. And if the guy does win the presidency, then we 100% know that this, there's something weird going on in there. I'm not going to straight up say it, but you know what I'm talking about. Like, if someone like this were to win the Republican candidacy, then we know that something nefarious is going on behind the scenes, because no Republican in the stands right there, no Republican probably watching this video, and let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree, want to hear answers like this. Like, we don't want to put Ukraine over America. Like, I think a main focus for Republican voters, especially, is America first. Like, that should be every candidate's position, is America first, because we really need to focus on issues that are happening inside of America. And Mike Pence is obviously not doing that. And he got absolutely nuked, like I said, by Tucker Carlson, but also Mike Pence just nuked himself. Let me know what you're thinking about this whole Mike Pence appearance at this Blaze event. I think that Tucker did a great job at questioning him, and he ended up just asking him questions until he ended up ruining his own career. He didn't go super hard on him or anything. He just let him talk, and he talked himself into the grave. Let me know what you're thinking in the comments about this whole situation.